10 famous companies that started in a garage. Disney. The media giant that the Walt Disney Company is today had a very humble beginning. Walt Disney and his brother Roy started filming Alice comedies, part of Alice's Wonderland, in their uncle's garage in Los Angeles back in 1923. They wouldn't have known it then, but their company, worth over $150 billion, is now the biggest multimedia conglomerate in the whole world. Apple started in 1976 when Steve Wozniak designed the first Apple I computer for $500. When a local retailer made a demand for 50 computers, Steve Jobs and Wozniak got all the parts and put together 50 computers in 30 days. They did it at Jobs' parents' garage in Cupertino, California. Today, with a swanky office in Cupertino called Infinite Loop, Apple is the world leader in technology. Harley-Davidson. William Harley always wanted to design motorcycles. As a 20-year-old, he had come up with the design of an engine to power a bicycle. Then over the next 2 years, he and his childhood friend Arthur Davidson built their motorcycle in a wooden shed at Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They formally launched Harley-Davidson in the year 1903, and the brand, worth over $10 billion, is now synonymous with high-end luxury motorbikes. Nike. If you think a garage is too small a space to start a billion-dollar business, get this, Nike started in the trunk of a car. Yes, that's right. Nike began as Blue Ribbon Sports in 1964 in the trunk of its founders, Phil Knight's Plymouth Valiant. While Knight made shoes, his coach at the University of Oregon, Bill Bowerman, tested them on runners. For the first 2 years, it couldn't even find any retailers. And today, Nike is the biggest manufacturer of sports apparel and accessories. The company is worth about $90 billion now. Google. Perhaps the most famous of all the companies that started in a garage, Larry Page and Sergey Brin started Google in current YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki's garage in September 1998. Started as just another college project at Stanford, Google is the biggest internet giant today. Page and Brin tried to sell the company to Excite for $1 million, which Excite rejected. And they're surely regretting it now that Google is worth over $500 billion. Amazon. The world's largest online marketplace started as an online bookstore. Founded by Jeff Bezos in 1994, Amazon started its operations from Bezos' home garage in Bellevue, Washington. Although it took almost an entire year for Amazon to sell their first book, the business soon started to grow exponentially and is now one of the biggest companies in the world, valued at almost $300 billion. Virgin. Richard Branson, while in high school in Britain, started a student-oriented magazine. The magazine gave him the confidence to engage in a fully-fledged startup business. The first iteration of Virgin Records was a retail service through which Branson would send vinyl albums through the mail to any customers who placed an order. This enterprise was mostly sustained through Branson's basement and garage, where he could store materials necessary to keep records of album sales. Microsoft. Here's another tech giant that had a small start. When Bill Gates and Paul Allen started Microsoft, they had a small garage and very little resources to work with. However, something they did have in abundance was their programming skills, using which they built their first operating system and licensed it for $80,000. A few years later, Windows was born, and we know how that turned out. Mattel, whose most famous product is the Barbie doll, started as a picture frame company in 1945. The founders, Harold Matson and Elliot and Ruth Handler, started in a garage in Southern California and to use their leftover materials, started creating dollhouses. When their dollhouses began selling more than their picture frames, they decided to become a toy manufacturing company instead. And things did turn out well for them. They are the largest toy-making company in the world today and are worth $10 billion. Hewlett-Packard. In 1938, Will Hewlett and Dave Packard started Hewlett-Packard in Packard's garage in Palo Alto, California. Their first product was an audio oscillator that was ordered by another company on this list, Walt Disney, for their motion picture Fantasia. Disney purchased 8 oscillators for the movie. Their initial investment was only $538, but the company is now worth about $13 billion.